Good morning. And so we arrive at Good Friday. Good Friday is so special, so significant, isn't it? And hard, perhaps, to think of it as good, given the events of Good Friday. And yet, of course, we know what's to come. I read this week that the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem had closed its doors for possibly the first time in history, but certainly the very first time in a very long time. And a couple of years ago now, I went to Jerusalem and the Holy Land, and I went to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and it was wall to wall with tourists, and it was quite a difficult experience in a way for me. And I found this little piece about the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, which I thought I would share today. All under one roof, like a religious shopping mall, and as oppressive, Calvary and the tomb and the baffled common people struggling up the steps, ducking through doorways lit by flickering lamps, each of which belongs to a separate denomination. A structure oppressive with power, marked into territories, guarded by monks, gloomy acres of space patrolled by clergy in robes, and tour guides with worried flocks. But what is at its heart? Where would the people of God gather who stray through the gloom, longing for meaning? Such a pompous place, such a weight of sadness, so much history, such disconnection from what is happening in the streets, such terrifying emptiness. Why do we search for the living among the dead? And that sums up the way I felt about that place. It was special. It was wonderful to finally see the place where Jesus lay and so on. But it's a tourist attraction, and to think of it now having its doors closed, with the living outside the building, I think is really pretty amazing. Why look for the living among the dead? Life goes on in all that's currently happening, and maybe we too often make the mistake of thinking that we can contain God, that we can make a building a shrine, when we really can't. Now, I have a plaque here that my mum gave to me many years ago, which you won't be able to read, but has shells and things. It's made of some sort of resin, I think, and in a frame. And I've been asked to read this very well-known piece, and it seemed appropriate that I had this one that my mum gave to me and is very special to me, that I read it from this one. Footprints in the sand. One night, a man had a dream. He was walking along the beach with the Lord. Across the sky flashed scenes from his life. For each scene, he noticed two sets of footprints in the sand. One belonged to him, the other to the Lord. At the lowest and saddest times in his life, he noticed there was only one set of footprints. He questioned the Lord about it. Lord, you promised to be with me always. But during the most troublesome times in my life, there is only one set of footprints. I don't understand why when I needed you most, you would leave me. The Lord replied, I love you and would never leave you. During your times of trial and suffering, when you see only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. It was then, my children, that you were carried. We would do well today to remember those words, I think, and to remember too that immortal cry from the cross, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I'll see you later today for our Good Friday service at 6:30. Until then, God bless.